for a team that has such great talent, but also an iconic franchise. Playing for a team that has such great talent, but also an iconic franchise. And in addition to that, what was it like having Magic right down the street from you an hour before he was supposed to meet with you to talk about becoming a Laker?
Well, I mean, I think the excitement around the game for me in general, no matter what uniform I'm in, I'm just always humbled that I'm able to play this game at this level. I think we all know, and it can speak for itself, that this franchise has been a historical franchise in this league for years. You know, don't even have to talk about the years they won championships, talk about the players that came through this franchise, that's worn this uniform, so that's an excitement in its own right. And then it's just always humbling for me anytime I get an opportunity to be a part of something special, and I believe the conversation I had with Magic that night was a special night, so I'm happy to be in this point today.
LeBron, welcome to Los Angeles. I want to know how it feels. I know you've been with two teams before. Cleveland, obviously, we all think of you probably most with the Miami experience. You did very well there. What is it like to move to another place? I know you live here during much of the season, so it's not like a brand new experience, but what is it like to just change the location where you're going to be competing and represent another city?
I mean, well, it's always challenging when you move, no matter if you do it as a professional or if you've done it, in your adolescent days, which I did a lot. So, moving from place to place is something that, I've been accustomed with, especially growing up, where I come from. So, it's more challenging for your family, and your friends that take the leap and take the change as well. It's an uncomfortable position for them at the beginning, uncomfortable for me as well. Just, learning new streets, learning new routes, learning new, new people, being around a different environment. So it's always a learning experience when when you have to change locations. So, it's an adjustment that myself and my family and my friends will all adjust to, but we'll be fine because we have each other.
Hey, LeBron, Kurt Sandoval from ABC7. Curious, as a man who's been to the NBA Finals 8 consecutive years, the last time you weren't in the Finals is when this franchise was in the Finals. What's your expectations as a man who's measured by championships?
Well, my expectation, is to try to get better every single day. I don't expect nothing. You work for what you want, and you can't expect anything. I think that's all. For me, it's all part of the process, and we don't know. It's the unknown. The unknown is, what to expect at the end of the road. So I don't ever base anything off of that. What I know I can bring to the table is, being committed to, having excellence, every single day from a mindset standpoint and from, how I prepare to go out and play. So, everything else take care of itself.
Lauren Jones, LA Sentinel. LeBron, obviously, a definition of success for a successful season would be a championship. But are there any other markers or indicators that you have for this season being successful?
I don't believe that. I don't believe the only thing of success you mark in the season is winning a championship. There's only one champion, but that doesn't mean you're not successful. I think, there's going to be wins and losses and things of that nature, but what you can control is how you prepare every day, how we prepare every day to try to get better every day. We're a new ball club coming together. Obviously, they have some returning guys, but as far as the ball club, we're all new to each other. So, we have to, take our bumps and our bruises. We have to, there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, and that's what happens with a team that's new. But if we continue to work the process and we continue to, sacrifice for one another and put in the commitment and the time to being great, then, everything else will fall into place, as I said before.
Hey, LeBron, between breaking some film down of these young guys, knowing their games from previous years, playing some 5-on-5 here and talking to the coaching staff, have you gotten a sense yet of the way that you want to approach the games and how you guys might play with pace and just the direction of the team?
Well, my game, does not change no matter who I'm alongside. I believe my game can fit with anybody. I'm a team-first guy. I love passing the ball, love sharing the ball. And then watching these guys from the outside looking in, the level of pace that they play with. I'm excited about. I love getting up and down and running and things of that nature. So, but I think Luke and the coaching staff will let us know what they would like for us to, how we can be great, and we have to practice that and we have to implement that every single day in order to accomplish what we want to accomplish.
Hey, LeBron, Bill Oram with The Athletic. Two questions. One, can you drill down to the moment you decided to make this move and that you wanted to be a Laker? And then, and what was that like, kind of as you kind of took in what that would mean? And then two, so much to talk about what you can do for the young guys. I'm curious what you think the young core that has been in place for a couple of years will do for you.
Well, I have a team, and to answer your first question, I have a team that we all come together. We've done this before. We mark out all the pros and the cons, and then at the end of the day, it's it's kind of up to myself and my family. So we kind of made a decision that this was our next journey. This is our next path, and so I was able to make the decision to come here. Truly excited, about this opportunity. And then I'm always in a learning process. No matter where I'm at in my career, I'm always in a point where I want to learn and get things from teammates and coaches and things of that nature. So I'm looking forward to seeing what we all can bring to the table and how we can all bounce ideas and bounce things off one another in order to better our games, both on the floor and also mentally as well.
Yeah, LeBron, Bill Plaschke, LA Times. How much of your decision was based on the Lakers and how much on the business opportunities of Los Angeles, and how do you balance those two?
My decision was based solely on my family and the Lakers. Listen, I'm a basketball player. I play ball. That's what I do. That's what I live by. And when I do it at the level I do it at, everything else take care of itself. So, as far as my business, those things have been taking care of itself way before I even came out here to be a part of the Lakers franchise.
LeBron, Andy Kamenetsky, ESPN LA, The Athletic.
Where are you?
You've obviously accomplished a lot in your career, been through a lot of different scenarios. At the same time, joining this team brings a lot of attention. What, if anything, at this stage of your career creates pressure for you or constitutes pressure?
Say that again?
What, if anything, at this stage of your career creates pressure for you, brings about pressure?
Nothing. Nothing.
LeBron, you're at the far back Hi, Marcelo Correge from TV Globo Brazil. People still think about what this Golden State Warriors team can be in the league at this moment, because they keep adding pieces to the team, and sometimes it looks unfair. But you have a young core here with you and some talented players as well. Do you think that this Los Angeles Lakers can beat Golden State in the Western Conference?
We got a long way to go to get to Golden State. They could pick up right where they left off, starting with training camp. If they start today or whenever they start, we're picking up from scratch. So we have a long way to go. We can't worry about what Golden State is doing. Golden State is Golden State, and they're the champions, and they've been together for a few years now. So, we put that to the side. We can only focus on what we can do to get better every day as a Lakers franchise, and and hopefully someday we can put ourselves in a position where we can compete for a championship, as Golden State has done for the last few years.
Josh Peter with USA Today right here, LeBron. Between the movie project, the TV project, the documentary, the HBO show, how do you juggle off the court stuff and on the court stuff and keep it from becoming a distraction potentially?
How long have you been following me? Huh? Apparently not long enough. There go your answer right there.
LeBron, over here. Om Young Masuk, ESPN. You've been very good at kind of getting the strengths of your players, adapting to them and getting the best out of your teammates. So I'm wondering, how do you see all these pieces fitting? There's a lot of multiple ball handlers, versatile players. How do you see that? How do you envision this fitting?
That's definitely exciting, for sure. When you see how many multiple ball handlers, how many guys that can do multiple things, pass, shoot, rebound, put the ball on the court, get out and run. So, it's going to be, fun to see how I can implement myself into that, and we can all implement each other and get the best out of each other. So tomorrow's going to be the start of, it's like the first day of school, for me. you know what to expect, but at the same time you don't know what to expect. Me being my first time here, part of this franchise and this system as well. So I look forward to seeing how I can work and how we all can work together.
LeBron, right here, Brad Twin, LA Times. You and Rondo had some epic and testy games when you guys both played in the East. What's it going to be like having him as a teammate, and what was it like having him oppose you doing those pickup games last week rather than play on your team?
Yeah, Rondo in my career, and since I've competed against him over the years, has always been one of the most cerebral players, smartest players that I've ever competed against, and one of the most competitive guys I've ever competed against. He know everything that's going on the floor. He know everything that you're doing. He know everything the team is doing. He know all the strengths and the weaknesses. And sometimes you kind of see yourself, when you see yourself in someone on the opposing side, that's where you think someday it'd be crazy if you ever teamed up and you're able to join forces with that type of cerebral, mentality where you know exactly what's going on the floor every possession. So it's gonna be a really cool, moment when I step out on the floor with Rondo, just knowing, things that he see and he know things that I see with us never even have to say anything. It's not many of us in this league that can actually think and prepare with our minds before we even step onto the floor and then actually play the game like the two of us.
Hello, Brad.
Turner from the LA Times.
Nice to have you back.
Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. You played against Rondo. What's it like to have him as a player that you're coaching, and what did you learn about him doing those pickup games last week?
Yeah, Rondo's been incredible in this short time we've been together. A lot of people are always asking me who, did you reach out and talk to LeBron's old coaches? And yeah, I did, but I was also reaching out and talking to some of the people that have coached him, Rondo, and every one of them, they talk about his basketball IQ, his work ethic, how he brings teams together, the way he sees the game. So hearing all that and then watching him come into the gym and just playing pickup, the way that he can orchestrate a team and, from play to play on both ends of the court, vocalize what's happening and what needs to be done. It's fun to watch, and it's exciting to get to be able to start coaching that starting tomorrow.
The expectations, obviously, for this year are different. Expected to go to the playoffs and play deep and all that kind of stuff. How do you balance those expectations and the need to win games with still giving the younger guys the flexibility to make mistakes, to learn and keep growing in that way?
Well, for us, our mindset, and I know the expectations are there, but it has to be the same. It has to be about building our habits, coming in every day and working. And we know players are going to make mistakes. We encourage that. We want that type of basketball where players are taking risks and taking those chances to make plays. But we're trying to win. So we expect that to happen, and we expect mistakes to happen, and players will have whatever leash they have as far as how that goes. But their playing time and whether they're staying in the game or not will be more dependent on, are they boxing out? Are they rebounding? Are they running deep to the corners? Are they, how are they defending? Defense was our priority last year. It's going to be our priority this year. So if you're doing all those things, I can live with you making a mistake trying to do the right thing. So it's going to be more based on the rest of their game and how they're doing that, how they're practicing, than actually playing through mistakes with some of the younger guys.
The last year, pace was really the focus, and you were one of the fastest teams as far as pace. LeBron maybe hasn't always played at that kind of speed, maybe Rondo, some of these other guys. How do you envision the pace evolving? Do you think the team slows down a little bit? Do you think you still run at that same speed?
We're going to play fast. In a lot of, whether it's the same speed, fast or slower, we'll get to know our team as training camp goes. But we're going to play fast. We have a very deep team. We have a lot of guys who can push the ball. We want to attack. We think a big strength of ours this year will be our depth and the amount of guys that we can throw at you. And, when you have that type of team, it's a big advantage to push it down and make other teams play more possessions and play at a faster pace. So we're going to continue to play that way. If it's faster or slower than last year, we'll get to know our team and figure that out in training camp.
With all the versatility that you have and all the depth, how much have you been running different rotations through your mind, and do you think that it will ever be a set rotation or be more situational depending on who you're playing?
There's a lot of rotations that I have written down that I want to see in training camp. Even with what they call, the small ball lineups, within that, there's 3 or 4 different small ball lineups that I want to see. And a set rotation, I don't see us. We're a team, and whoever's playing well, whoever's helping the team win is going to be playing, whether that's to start games, finish games. So there's not, I'm not looking to find a starting 5 by game 1 and keep it the rest of the year. A lot of this process, we're starting over again. We got a lot of new guys, and a lot of it is feeling each other out, getting to know each other, getting to see who plays well together. So I'm not, desperate to find a set rotation right now.
Hey, Luke.
Hello.
Your young guys spent a lot of time in the gym this offseason. Ingram made a lot of gains after his rookie year with Kuzma and Hart specifically, and I know Lonzo was hurt, but what did you notice? What did you see, and did that translate into the scrimmages in these last couple of weeks?
The most impressive thing is the habits they've built. And even though Lonzo wasn't able to be on the court a lot, he built those same habits this offseason. And he was in the gym every day. He was in town Monday through Friday, whether it was lifting weights or doing core stretching, things like that. He was in every day working just like the rest of them, just not able to be out on the basketball court. But the work ethic, the habits that they've created in this short time really, speaks to who they are, speaks to how seriously they take the game of basketball. But it's also the culture that we want, and it, to me, is going to allow us to have success for years to come with guys like that around. And the great thing about it is you see those young guys work like that, and if you're one of the 3 rookies that got drafted this year, and that's the example you've seen being set, then that's how you behave. And it just keeps going year after year like that. So I think they've done a really nice job with being professional at such a young age.
Hey, Luke, to your left, Bill Orm with The Athletic. How much emphasis are you putting, kind of going into this season, on reducing the strain on LeBron from what he has done minutes-wise, workload-wise, over the past few years?
Not a ton of emphasis right now. That will come with, as the season's playing out, the 2 of us will sit down with the training staff and constantly be in communication about what's best for him, what's best for the team, because we definitely want to keep him fresh. But we're not going to predict when or how that'll play out right now. It'll just be something that we continue to talk about as the season goes.
Yeah, Luke, LeBron was in it earlier. He seemed very businesslike, very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of how he's been with you and on the court, and is that kind of the attitude he's taken?
More so today. He knows what time it is. He's been around a lot of years, and he's setting the tone. That it's time to work. He comes in every day and works with during the off season, playing pickup and things like that. It's much more light, but he's still, by example, the way he plays, the way he comes in, lifts weights, does his prep work, post work, is serious. But there's definitely that look that I've seen before in somebody that I used to play with that knows the season's coming up soon.
First of all, welcome to LA. You being the floor general that you are and creating opportunity for other players, what are some of the things that you're seeing in the younger players, and some of the things that you're going to teach those intangibles to the younger players as the season progresses?
I think the attention to detail, I believe, as far as being in the right position defensively, offensively, knowing how to move and space well without the ball. I can go on and on with things I'll be able to teach those guys, but for the most part, I want to do it with film. Consistent habits, continue to work on those daily, and continue to try to go to the bigger picture. Understand we have one common goal, and we got to all make sacrifices to get to that goal.
Hey, Rajon, LeBron was talking about years ago playing against you, and just you both see the game a certain way. He said there's only so many guys that can think it like that, and he wondered what it would be like to have a teammate that could be on that same page. And I know it's just been a couple of scrimmages, but how do you think that could play out? What kind of advantages could you guys get from that?
I'm excited about that opportunity to play with a guy that is on that level of excitement and understand how to break down the game physically and mentally in a quick second. So LeBron is one of the greatest IQ players that we've ever seen in this game today, and being on the floor with him, I'm sure is going to make everyone else, even myself, job a lot easier. And that's what I'm here to do as well, is make his job a lot easier. Make the young guys understand what we need to do as a team to win games.
Rajon, I want to ask you a quick question. I saw some family here with you today while kind of walking around, and kids always keep it very honest with you. What do they think about you being a Laker now and playing with LeBron?
Well, my kids were too young. I think my daughter was just born when I won the championship in Boston. So other than that, they haven't seen me in the green uniform. So a couple guys here that was on the Laker staff said something to me earlier as far as they're not used to me in this color. So I'm not either, but I'll get comfortable in the next couple days.
LeBron was talking a little bit about how cerebral of a player you are, and how that's one reason that he's always wondered what it would be like to play with you because of how you see the game. I'm wondering, what have the conversations that you guys have had about basketball been like just in the gym so far? Has it been fun to sort of talk on the same level with someone?
It is. We haven't really gotten too much in detail. We obviously want to focus on the main factors on what it's going to take for these young guys to catch up with us and understand what it takes to win. So just being great leaders. Obviously, communication is very important between both of us, and obviously passing it down to the young guys. So, like I said, no disrespect, no knock to any of my teammates in the past, but Kevin Garnett was probably my favorite teammate as far as communication-wise. The first thing I noticed about Kevin, the first day we played pickup, 2007. It was crazy how loud he was talking on the floor. So I'm excited to get back to that moment to where someone behind me is talking defense, talking to me where I need to be on the floor, pick coming left, flare right. So with that being, having a safety or a linebacker behind you dictating and telling you everywhere to go, it's going to make my job and everyone else's job a lot easier.
Hey, Rajon, right over to your left.
My left?
Yeah. Just obviously being such a pure point guard, watching Lonzo Ball, just some things that maybe you like about his game that you've seen in his rookie season.
The intangibles, he obviously can do it all, but I love that he's a very unselfish player, and people don't really understand that the ball gives you energy, and if you're a point guard that shoots 28 times a game or you're dominating the ball every time down the court, the guys running the lane 3 or 4 times haven't touched the ball in a while, the body language could start to drop, and now defensively they're not giving you the energy that you need. So watching the young guy at that age, particularly I think he's 19 or 20 years old, being able to share the ball and he's not about himself is very refreshing to understand that there are still point guards that are coming up that want to play the game the right way.